Welcome to Maple Grove Raceway in Reading, Pennsylvania. 8,000 horsepower have come to life. We're getting ready for the first round of Top Fuel on race 19 of 23 in the NHRA Top Fuel Drag Racing Series. It'll be David Grubnick and David Baca in this exclusive broadcast available on ESPN2 HD. Leader in Sports presents exclusive coverage of the $50 million NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series. Today, the chase for the championships begin the stretch run from Maple Grove Raceway in Reading, Pennsylvania. The 21st running of the Toyo Tires NHRA Nationals, and we have got a huge crowd on hand because for the first time in 3 years, we don't have to worry about rain. And boy, has the performance level been spectacular. And by the end of the day, the championships are going to have some major shakeups. Right now, we get ready for David Baca in the right lane, David Grubnick in the left lane. The first pair of cars to go the quarter mile. And immediately, David Grubnick lays down a 4.56-second elapsed time. Connie Kalitta likes it a lot. Remember the debacle that they had back at Indy when they got mixed up in the starting line, got in the wrong groove, smoked the tires. Here they pick it up and make a nice run. Ready for Tony Schumacher and Scott Wise. And let's talk about the Full Throttle Pit Crew Championship.
And I really like the way they calculate this, Marty, because I think it's a very good indication of who had not only the best performance, but the best consistency in qualifying. It's based on you get points for your qualifying position. You also get points for your average from those 4 qualifying runs, and also the spread between your quickest and fast and slowest run during qualifying. You can get a maximum of 48 points. You see right there, Tony Schumacher got 45. Morgan Lucas got 44. Doug Herbert right there with 43. But hey, how about Doug Kalitta, who's still in the points hunt? He's down in 9th with 25 points.
Right now, Scott Wise going to try and take out the pole sitter, Tony Schumacher. Look at the numbers, 4.47 seconds, 323 miles an hour. That is now the quickest run of this first round of eliminations.
Obviously, Alan Johnson likes this racetrack because they were very aggressive. I'm sure they ran exactly the number they were looking for. Just missed their #1 qualifying time by 0.02 of a second. Great pass, 4:47. He was running 277.5 miles per hour at the 8th mile. Just a little bit faster than teammate Melanie, and carries it on through to the end for a great run. I'll tell you, this is a good matchup, first-round matchup here. I mean, TJ Zissou, that's a car that will go down the racetrack and run a decent number. So Larry Dixon, Dick LaHaye, they know that. I mean, Dick LaHaye never worries about who's in the other lane. He races the racetrack, but they can't make any mistakes right now. And if they can get by TJ Zissou, obviously they're going to be teamed up with Doug Kalitta, which would be a huge matchup in the second round. But right now they're not thinking about that. Let's just get around TJ.
And Dixon goes 4.52 with a 1, and by 1/1000th of a second, lane choice is going to go to Doug Kalitta.
You know, lane choice always plays a part in this, and you never know. It can change from session, from round to round or session to session, but you always like to have it just in case, because right now it looks like the left lane's better than the right. But to be honest with you, all the best cars are taking the left-hand lane. We saw Doug Foley run a 4:55 in that right-hand lane, so there's not too much wrong with it. But I'll tell you, Larry Dixon, Dick LaHaye, just exactly what they wanted to do. Right down the racetrack to a 4:52 at 330 miles per hour. That's getting after. That's the fastest speed we've seen since they've gone to the new restrictions on the rev limiter.
The sounds of funny car. And you want to talk about a knot in your stomach. First pair out. Robert Hight in the left lane. Ron Capps over in the right lane. Let's go to the far end, Gary.
Larry Dixon, you lose lane choice by 1,000th of a second to Doug Kalitta. Is that a big deal? To be honest with you, I was more concerned about trying to win first round than worrying about who's got lane choice for second round. We got ourselves in position. That'll give us a good run to work on our Miller Lite car and see what the conditions are for second round. But yeah, lane choice. I'd rather have a quicker car. Obviously, Coletta got it, but it's only 1,000.
It's only 1,000, and he was going at 330 miles an hour, which isn't too shabby.
All right, let's zero in on Robert Hight, Ron Capps. These guys have met twice before this year. Capps won at Phoenix, Hight won it at Atlanta. Dave Reeve.
And neither one of these guys have had the qualifying effort that they want. And of course, we documented Ron Capps and Andy Ace McCullough being shut up in the Friday night qualifying session. For Robert Hight, I just talked with him before he got into this race car. Said they have made some major changes into the clutch fingers. Replaced every one of them. It's something they normally replace just a couple at a time. They went ahead and made wholesale changes. They say the car has been a little bit ahead of them this weekend, but they're catching up to it right here. This is going to be a great race.
Whatever those changes were, it really kicked in. 325 miles an hour. He did it on the back half.
Yeah, he definitely liked that. Both drivers went in stage a little bit deep, which kind of fudges on that elapsed time, but gives them a good reaction time. And both drivers had good lights. They pretty much left together. Ron Capps had a slight advantage off the starting line, but boy, Jimmy Prock, whatever, like you said, whatever clutch program he put in there, it liked, because that thing was hooked up and accelerating through the middle of the course and carried it all the way to the finish line and put a big old smile on Jimmy's face.
Top speed of the meet so far, 325.92 miles an hour. Does that give you an idea how good that tune-up was? Yes, sir. And there's Robert at the far end of the racetrack, and you heard him before the round. This is one he knew he had to have. And by golly, he got it. You're looking at Bob Gilbertson now. He'll be over in the right lane. In the left lane will be the man who's sixth in the points, Tommy Johnson Jr. Let's go talk to Robert. He's with Gary.
And Robert Hight comes climbing out after that dramatic victory. And boy, that is big in terms of championship. We still got 4 events after this one. But in your mind, how big is a victory like that against one of your chief competitors?
It's huge. You know what? If somebody gets, in my prediction, if somebody wins 2 of these last 5 races, it's over. They're going to win this deal. And if you lose first round, you're pretty much over. I honestly believe if you get to the semis, the last few races, you probably have a good shot at winning. But we got the goal today to win with this automobile club, a Southern California Ford Mustang.
We got one pumped up rookie here, guys.
Boy, and he's got it all analyzed out. That's what I love about him. He knows the car. He knows what's at stake. And as we take a look at the Funny Car Ladder presented by Lucas Oil, do you agree with his assessment, the way he's got it figured?
Well, I definitely agree with it. I mean, it's so tight. I mean, now's the time to make it happen. And he made it happen first round, that's for sure.
There you see the matchups. Force and Medlin don't have a chance to meet until the semifinals. And that's why it is a huge day for them as well, because they can pick up a lot of ground as a result of what's happening on the other side of the ladder. Right now, Tommy Johnson Jr., he knows his chances for the championship are all but nil. And he has said, we're getting back to winning races and building more momentum for next year. They've had a great year so far after the disaster of last year. For TJ, 4.82 seconds at 3:19 as you saw the cylinders go out on Bob Gilbertson's car. Back here at the Toyo Tires NHRA Nationals, we're getting ready now for Jason Line and Alan Johnson. Jason, the track record holder, 6.669. Alan has the unenviable task of being the number 16 qualifier and trying to take Jason out.
Jason with lane choice has picked that right-hand lane, something we haven't seen a whole lot of. None in the fuel cars, and then just a couple in pro stock.
If Jason's had one weakness this year, he has been erratic at times on the tree. And he gets beat off the line here. But for the 3rd race in a row, Jason drives around a 669, 206.35 miles an hour. That's top speed, low elapsed time. And these guys just keep getting quicker and faster.
Well, That's why he took the right-hand lane, because he knows what he's doing, because that car was hooked up. Obviously, there's no difference in lanes from Pro Stock. We saw Warren run a 669 in the left-hand lane. Jason Line, the same thing. He was second off the line, was able to drive around with that big horsepower on the other end at over 206 miles per hour.
And there he is at the far end of the racetrack as he climbs out. We get ready for Kurt Johnson and V. Gaines. Kurt's over in the left lane, and this is a must-go situation for him. He knows he has to get to the semifinal, and he does control his own destiny because he and Greg Anderson are on the same side of the ladder. So if he can get that far, he feels if he can meet up with Greg by semifinals, win the race, he still has a shot at the championship with 5 events remaining.
A lot of people say that Kurt Johnson makes about the same amount of horsepower, maybe even a little bit more than Greg Anderson and Jason Line, but it seems like Greg Anderson's been hitting the setup just right. Saw Jason Line just do the same thing. I got to correct myself. Jason was actually the first person to take the right lane that had lane choice. Ricky Smith was starting to go over there, but I think he just did that ploy to move over to the left lane to kind of mess with Erica a little bit, and it didn't pay off. But both lanes are pretty even. Kurt's just got to hit the setup. His dad hit it, so I'm pretty sure that Kurt should have what it takes, but you never can out V. Gaines.
Kurt, a 3-time winner here at Maple Grove, including a rookie campaign back in 1993. Big advantage, KJ. And by a car length, a 670 at 205. V. Gaines runs a 672, but that's not good enough as he gets beat by a full car length from number 2 in the points, Kurt Johnson.
Kurt Johnson just doing his job. Not a great reaction time, but V. Gaines was just dead late. 103 off of the tree. This is not what you want in Pro Stock. You're going to pretty much get beat all day long with that, no matter what you run. And when you're up against Kurt Johnson, you need to step up.
And of course, the man that is the points leader will be Greg Anderson. Anderson, a winner 2 weeks ago at the U.S. National. Did that win give him enough momentum to claim his 3rd straight Pro Stock championship? Well, Kurt Johnson's the only man within range. If KJ has anything for Anderson, he has to show it now. And as we get ready for this, Greg Anderson will be over in the right lane, Greg Stanfield in the left. Let's take a look at the points after Seattle, then again after Indy. If you weren't with us yesterday, we had this up yesterday for everybody that was watching. Started out with WJ looking really strong, and then of course he had those 4 hole shot losses in a row, and that's basically what wiped him down to 3rd. In the meantime, Greg Anderson just kept pecking away.
You know, and I like this team. I mean, look at Greg Anderson and Jason Line. Everybody else chooses that left-hand lane. They don't care what anybody else is doing. They look at the data from the previous runs. They look at the racetrack. They walked it before this round, and they say, hey, you know what? I like that right-hand lane. And obviously, the right-hand lane is great based on what Jason Line ran ahead of him.
Reading, one of 2 tracks where Greg Anderson has never won, but Greg Stanfield has yet to beat him in Pro Stock. Bit of a staging duel. Now we go in. Advantage Stanfield. But again, Greg Anderson drives around Stanfield. 6.68 the elapsed time. Low for the race, 2:06 and change. And number 1 in the point says, guys, if you want it, come and get it.
Once again, this is why I like this team. Greg Anderson knew, I mean, let's just go out there and cut a good light. Let's not push the tree because we know we have the horsepower. You know, we can spot Greg Stanfield a couple hundredths of a second, which is what happened, and then he just allowed the horsepower to drive around on the other end. He made the perfect run. He has to do it, but he does it pretty much every time he goes down the racetrack.
Let's go to the far end, Gary.
With Kurt Johnson, next round, you've got the Pops going against WJ. What does that do for you when you start thinking about it? Because I know you've battled him many, many times over the years. Are there special thoughts, special feelings, or do you treat it as just another round?
Well, obviously, you're looking for the win light. That's what you're looking for. But as bad as he's been beating up on me this year, a 008 in Pomona and a 011 somewhere else down the line, that, you know, we're trying to get some points here, trying to win this championship, and we really need this round. We need to win this race today.
And as Kurt finishes up, Greg Anderson pushing his car up the hill. I don't think we'll get a chance to check with him, but boy, we're going to see some real numbers here. This second round shaping up very interesting.
Well, and Kurt does not have lane choice against Dad. It belongs to Warren. We get ready for the last run here in first round of Pro Stock. Ron Krischer in the left lane, Dave Howard over in the right lane. Krischer coming off that horrible DNQ at Indianapolis. Ran some stellar runs here. He's the number 4 qualifier, the best, a 6.74, and he's been living in that 74-75 range. Advantage Howard. And the win light to Dave Howard in a hole shot. So for finally, somebody who was first off the starting line makes it pay off at the far end of the racetrack. 6.74 to a quicker but losing 6.69. Krischer's going to be beating himself up.
Well, he should be. He had a bad reaction time, 100 reaction time. It was a 10th of a second after the green light came on. Terrible for Pro Stock. He made a very good run. That car was on a string all the way down, but Dave Howard getting that almost 500ths of a second advantage off the starting line was a difference.
Let's go to Gary.
Greg Anderson, you were over there in the right lane, and a lot of people were raising their eyebrows. Did you decide late, or was that premeditated, so to speak?
You know, we went out there thinking right. It kind of looked through qualifying like there might be something there. They're very even, there's no question about it, but that just shows you what kind of guts my guys have got. Nobody else took that right lane. Jason and I did. I believe we're the 2 quickest cars out there, so can't say enough about what the job the guys do. They're awesome.
Yeah, and you guys obviously saw something that other people didn't. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gary. It felt beautiful.
Here is the top fuel ladder presented by Lucas Oil, and you can see that Tony Schumacher will have the lane choice in our second semifinal, and Larry Dixon has the lane choice here, has decided to go into the left lane. And we talked about Doug Herbert and Morgan Lucas being potential spoilers, and they've got their chances.
Well, and we talked about it because of what they did in qualifying. I mean, they ran consistently good numbers all through qualifying, and it's carried over into eliminations right now. Larry Dixon has his work cut out if he wants to get around Doug Herbert. Seems like Wayne Dupuy's got a pretty good handle on that race car and this racetrack, and obviously Dick LaHaye, he's as good as anybody there is out there, so this is going to be a good race.
The last 8 times these guys have met, they've split them even, 4-4, so flip a coin. Here we go. Dixon was first off the line by 7 100ths, then runs a 4.54 to Doug Herbert's 4.59. So Larry moves into his second straight final, his 7th of the year and 70th of his career.
How about that, Larry Dixon? This is why he's a 2-time Powerade champion. I mean, great reaction time off the starting line. It was pretty much all over. As long as that car stayed together, he was going to get the win. And Dick LaHaye and that team, Donnie Bender, the rest of them, just gave him a great race car, runs it to the finish line and into the final round.
And with the win, moves 5 points ahead of Doug Coletta and into second place. He's now 60 behind Tony Schumacher. And let's check in now with Dave Reese. Something going on in the Pro Stock pits.
Down in Greg Anderson's camp, bit of a lucky break. The team doesn't normally change oil in this car, but every 4 or 5 runs, the team does that by sticking a ratchet on the end of the oil pump and spinning it with a drill. But when they did that, it seized up. In fact, this is the old oil pump, and you can see if you turn this, it locks up. If they'd have sent this car to the starting line, it would have locked up. It wouldn't have run. So good news for this team, bad news for Kurt Johnson. This might have been the break they're looking for, but this car will come to the line with the oil pump that will work. Gary?
Well, they moved the car out of the way, and Larry Dixon starts thinking about going to the finals. And if I'm correct, the last time you went to the finals at this racetrack, you were a rookie in Top Fuel competition. That's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, at least I won't have to go against Dick LaHaye. You know, it was Scott Coletta and Dick was tuning the car, and yeah, it's been a while, but gosh, you know, I said before after Indy, you know, the only way you're going to catch these guys is to win the event, and how everything else pans out, it does. We're still in charge of our own destiny, and we'll try and win the next one, whoever it is.
Stocking those points.
In fact, Gary, he hasn't made it out of the second round for the last 10 years until today. That's how good today has been for Larry Dixon. Take a look at the last 5 races of 04. Tony Schumacher dominated, winning 3 of those last 5 races last year on his way to the championship. If you were with us yesterday on the broadcast, though, you know that he's had trouble winning again at those very same facilities. Those 5 wins this year came at 5 totally different tracks. And here he is up against Morgan Lucas. Lucas. Lucas gave him everything that they had. They were dead even off the starting line. A 4:51 beats a 4:53, and Tony Schumacher is going to get his chance to repeat here for the 3rd year in a row at Reading.
Absolutely a great side-by-side drag race. Identical reaction times for both drivers, but the key was at 330-foot mark. Tony Schumacher had 200ths of a second, and he held it all the way to the finish line. You saw Morgan Lucas drift over toward the center a little bit, probably lost a little bit of lap time, even though he was running a little bit faster at the 8th mile, but just a great side-by-side drag race.
So numbers 1 and number 2 are in the final. Gary?
Tony, he'll hop over the car and come to the near side. In a close race like that, 51 and a 53, how aware are you of the man in the other lane?
I'm aware of the racetrack, staying right in the middle, because I tell you, I don't care what kind of car. If you ever had a chance to drag race, keep staying at the center of that racetrack where it's sticky and hot. That's where you need to be, man. Outstanding race. I had no idea, but you know, keeping it in the middle is just ruthless. You see a car get out of the groove, put a cylinder out, and we just can't do that. It's we got to be a machine today, man. Dixon goes on, wins that round right in front of us. We need those 20 points. That had to be outstanding to watch. And I said at the beginning of the day, this was going to be a day to watch racing, man, because it has been spectacular.
Good stuff. Thanks again.
Tony going to his 8th final of the year, 52nd of his career, and he will have the lane choice by 3/100ths over Larry Dixon.
Talked about spoilers in top fuel. Both of them have gone by the wayside, both Morgan Lucas and Doug Herbert. Tony Pedregon right now, he wants to take over that role of spoiler. He would love nothing better than to be able to get around Gary Scelzi and get into that final round.
All right, let's take a look at our Funny Car Ladder present oil, and you've got Gary Scelzi and John Force with the lane choice, as Force will be in our second pair. Let's focus in right now. These guys have met 12 times. They have split them right down the middle, 6 apiece. Tony looking to go to his first final this year at the expense of the points leader.
Gary has chosen that left-hand lane. He was in the right lane the previous round against Robert Hight because he didn't have lane choice. And we heard about the transition in the right-hand lane, maybe being a little bit loose out there. Obviously, both lanes are pretty good, but it's a situation that maybe the left lane's about 200ths of a second better than the right lane, so you're going to take any advantage you can. But we heard Robert Hight talk about that left lane wants to tend to drive the cars to the left a little bit. You got to be careful, because if the car does get out of the groove like Tony Schumacher talked about, you're going to spin the tires and you're going to drop a cylinder. You got a chance of getting beat.
Scelzi's in trouble. And Tony Pedregon is going to his second final ever as a owner. And there is Don Schumacher shaking his head. He can't believe what just happened. And for Tony, it's the 50th of his career.
That was a big surprise. I did not think he'd spin the tires there. Shortly after he hit the throttle, car probably only moved out about half a car length, had just a little bit too much wheel speed right at the initial hit, and then just carried in and drove into tire smoke. Tony Pedregon, though, left-hand lane, it was stuck down the middle. Didn't make a great pass, but a 493, 314 miles per hour gets him into the final.
All right, while all this is going on, let's quickly check in on Pro Stock Motorcycle with our points leader, and he's going to widen the points lead even more. Andrew Hines, he is back getting ready for the semifinals. There he is. Hey, I want to catch up. I understand that you're getting pretty good on this new NHRA drag racing game. Give me the details here. Like, you're setting record-setting numbers.
Yeah, all you have to do is change the weather conditions. You knock it down to about 15 degrees air temp, 0% humidity, and 80-degree track surface. I've run 607 in Jason Lyons Pro Stock car, and I've run 426 in Larry Dixon's Top Fuel Dragster. So just kind of plugging away. I've won the Pro Stock Championship once, and hopefully I will win a Funny Car Championship here pretty soon.
Oh, well, let's talk about the real deal, the Pro Stock Motorcycle Championship. How confident do you feel going in?
You know, I was pretty nervous after that last round with GT. That's a major points battle there between me and him. Put another 20 points on him, but I was really scared after that burnout. You know, I was really thinking about what I needed to do. Just needed to get down the track, and I don't know where that 006 came from, but he brings out the best of me.
Yeah, but are you worried about pushing the tree too hard and maybe going red?
No, I could calm myself down a little bit. I'm just going to go out here. Went 30 in the first round, and I've had between 50s and 70s in qualifying. So we're going to go out here and see if we can win 20 more points.
All right, we'll let you get back to focusing on that as we'll focus back in on John Force and Whit Bazemore. And here is the opportunity Force has needed. Scelzi is now out. The only guy remaining in the top 5 in points is here, number 3, John Force. He's 51 markers behind. He cuts that to 31 if he wins this round over Bazemore. more.
And he's got to be feeling good after watching Gary Selby smoke the tires in front of him. But now he's got to focus on the task at hand. He's got to be able to go out there, not make any mistakes. You saw him rolling last round, put both lights on. I don't think he wanted to do that. He's just focused to try to get this win. Hopefully he doesn't smoke the tires.
Bazemore's up in smoke. And here comes Force. 4.79 the elapsed time at 3:17. And your pick for the Funny Car Championship is getting closer and closer. If he wins the race, he'll move into second place and only be 11 points behind Gary Scelzi.
He's looking good. I think he's getting pumped. An 0.62 reaction time, and he wasn't in very deep, I don't think, and a 4.79 in a lane that Gary Scelzi smoked the tires right in front of him. Austin Coyle is also feeling very confident about this race car, and that's good for them and bad for the competition. With Bazemore, you saw him spin the tires, backpedal, then put a cylinder out, drove it over towards the center line, and obviously at that point he had to shut it off.
And John's going to have the lane choice over his old teammate, Tony Pedregon, in the Funny Car Final here at the Toyo Tires Nationals. And there they are talking at the far end of the racetrack. When we come back, it'll be time for Greg Anderson and Kurt Johnson. Big run, a very important run in the championship chase, especially for that man right there. The smoke clears as the factory hot rods in our first semifinal make it back to the starting line here at Maple Grove Raceway in the Toyo Tires NHRA Nationals. It will be Jim Yates over in the left lane, Jason Lyon on the right. But first, let's get you caught up, take you back to round number 2, when Greg Anderson admitted afterwards he was having trouble focusing. He thought all the pressure was on him because Erica Enders was over in the other lane after winning her first round of Pro Stock competition earlier. And then Kurt Johnson, as Papa gives him, well, he took a nap, but he says it was a line lock, but we listened. We couldn't hear anything. Warren's raising his hands, but we think it might be a birthday present a little bit early. Anyway, take a look at the semifinal matchups. You got Jason Lyon with the lane choice in this matchup, and Greg Anderson in this titanic struggle between numbers 1 and 2 coming up right after this one. And for Jim Yates, he's just trying to make his first final this year. For Jason Lyon, he's trying to go to his 6th. Yates with the brand new GTO, best run he's had it going since he picked it up. And he's going to make that final. The red light by Jason. And he throws away a 6:71 elapsed time. So he'll be kicking himself. But Jim Yates is going to the final, the 56th of his career.
Jason Lyon has been struggling on the starting line. That's one reason probably why he was a little over anxious there and got that red light, because his lights haven't been all that good for the last few races. And he knows Jim Yates. Jim Yates has been there. He's a former champion. He can definitely nail the tree when he needs to.
Yates is also a 3-time Maple Grove winner, so gives you an idea. He does like this racetrack. And we come back to the starting line already as you're on board with Greg Anderson. He and Kurt Johnson go side by side in this matchup. The winner gets Jim Yates.
This is one of those matchups where you can look back at the end of the year as one that either made or broke your season. I mean, you never know till it's all said and done. But that's why you got to really, really focus and do the best you can when in these type of situations.
Let's get an update on Greg Anderson's problem, Dave.
Well, I just think it's worth reiterating again, because I don't know if I did it as eloquently as I should, but this is a team that normally changes oil about every 4 or 5 runs. Well, this just happened to be their 5th run following the 2nd round. They debated whether they were going to do it or not, but had they not changed the oil, they would have not discovered that oil pump problem. So that's why I say that team is certainly taking some withdrawals out of the luck bank for sure today.
Well, and for Kurt Johnson, this is his own destiny in his own hands. He said, if I can get to the semifinals, meet Greg there, punch him out, go on to win the race, I pick up 40 more points. That's what he needs to do with 5 races remaining.
This is exactly what he wanted. He's got it, and he's right. This is when you win a championship. You got to, to be the best, you have to beat the best.
And he goes red. By 3/1000th of a second, Greg runs a 6:70 elapsed time, and Kurt Johnson goes red 1 round after WJ goes late on the tree.
Couldn't tell, but it almost looked like Kurt Johnson's car rolled the light when he brought the throttle up against the line lock. Because remember, what happens after this stage, I couldn't really see it from there. Maybe he just got a little over anxious, because what they do is they run the clutch pack so tight, gives you better reaction time, but sometimes it's actually rubbing a little bit too much that when they do go against the line lock, it'll actually pull the car through the beam.
It means Greg Anderson now leads by 156. He could tack on another 20 as we go take another look one more time, see if it rolls.
No, there was no roll. He just flat went for it and missed.
By 3/1000th of a second, and that may be the end of the championship chase in pro stock, because if he goes on and gets almost a 186-point lead, boy, it's just going to be next to insurmountable unless he falls apart. Greg Anderson, that being. Time now for Pro Stock Motorcycle. They're already on the line. Angel Sampey in the right lane. Andrew Hines in the left lane. Guess what? Angel does it with her best run of the weekend, 7:11 to a 7:18. Antron Brown, her teammate, says, yeah, we will take that one gladly. So the Pro Stock Motorcycle Championship is still up for grabs because Andrew is out of here. His lead will be 42 over teammate GT Tonglin.
Boy, did she do a good job. I mean, right on the line. 0:17 reaction time. Both riders had good lights off the starting line. But how about that? She stepped up and ran. They made their best run of the weekend. That bike was hooked up from the start. It looked like Andrew maybe got a little bit too much wheel spin off the beginning, and that just allowed Angel to get the win.
Her second final this year, 57th of her career.
It's a good old drag race.
And that means it'll be up to Chip Ellis and Ryan Schnitz to determine who will meet Angel in the final. Can you tell she's pumped up? Absolutely. It's Ellis in the left lane, Schnitz in the right lane. Double 06 for Schnitz. And he makes it pay off with a hole shot. 7.17 seconds to the quicker, but losing 7:14.
How about that, Ryan Schnitz? Great job by him. 006. Chip Ellis was a little bit off. Actually about 600th of a second behind right from the launch, and didn't quite have the bike. If he could have ran the number he's been running all weekend, he possibly could have been able to drive around Ryan. You saw Ryan, I mean, got over toward the center pretty good out of that groove, but he hung on to it, and that coupled up with that 006 rack time, he got the win.
Let's go to Gary.
With Jim Yates and Greg Anderson, and Jim Yates taking that GTO to the first final of the year. I know that making you feel awful good.
I'll tell you, that GTO is an awesome car, and I'm glad to get it in the final for Pontiac and Sea Ray and all the great sponsors. We got that Wiley X. I mean, it's just awesome to come out here to my hometown race. You know, Maple Grove, we've always done well here, and to put the GTO in the final, that's awesome.
GTO going against you, driven by Greg Anderson. And what do you think about this final matchup?
Well, first of all, I know what those GTOs could do. They're awesome cars, awesome cars. It was just a great race. You know, you get so scared when you go up there against a guy like Kurt. He's done a heck of a job this year, and it's certainly not over yet. But those races right there are the ones that are going to mean something at the end of the year. You know, it ain't over yet, but that one's going to mean a lot. So got to thank my guys. They carried me through. Summit, Pontiac, Mac Tools, Goodyear Tire and Rubber. What a race today.
Inching his way closer to another possible championship.
And that would be 3 in a row as they toast each other. There are the Pro Stock finalists, and Angel gets a hug from Steve Tartaglia. And as we see Greg Anderson having some reaction at the far end of the racetrack, there's Angel hoping and hollering underneath the helmet. We're coming back with more. Jim Yates, or will it be the points leader, Greg Anderson? Yates hasn't won since 2002 in motorcycles. Ryan Schnitz looking for win number 3 on the year, up against the Army of One. Angel Sampey. There is Angel. She'll be over in the right lane. Left lane will be Ryan Schnitz. Schnitz's other 2 wins came at Columbus and Denver. Angel looking for her second win this year. Let's talk a little bit about the weather.
Weather's remained pretty consistent today. 80 degrees, a little bit warmer than it was. Low humidity with 78 water grains. Track temperature steady at 160 degrees, so it'll be tight. The density altitude corrected. It's about a couple hundred feet worse than it was earlier today.
Ryan's road to the final. He and Angel have only met once before this year. That was back at Brainerd. Angel won that race. Was back at round number 1 there. Angel. This one's over. And Angel picks up win number 37 of her career. She runs 7.13 seconds, 191 miles an hour.
What a great job by Angel. I'll tell you, that 005 light in the final round, I mean, she stepped up and raised her game. And I think she had to be pumped by taking out that Harley in the semifinal and doing a great job. Right side of your screen, Ryan Schnitt's going to see him sit up on the bike right about there. Obviously, there was some sort of problem with it, whether it wasn't shifting or the bike was moving around. It definitely cost him. And Angel makes a nice run and into the winner's circle.
Angel, for her 6th win here at Maple Grove. That ties her with John Force. Those two share the most wins ever at this track in the pro category.
I'm okay, ready to go.
Let's go to Gary.
Angel, we want to know, how amped up were you after getting the victory over Andrew Hines and knocking off that Harley that put you in this final, a 005 light that leads you now to a victory?
Oh, God, I've been trying so hard on my reaction times. I have to thank God because I've been praying so hard for my team. You know, we've been having a rough spot on and off the track, but we're pulling through because we're going to stick together like the soldiers do. You know there's been a rough time going on in Louisiana, so God bless all you people out there that have donated to 1-800-HELP NOW. I can't tell you how much I love this racetrack. My mom called me this morning and told me I was going to win. She never does that. Mom, you got to do that more often.
I think Mama's going to be calling on a regular basis here.
Oh,
congratulations.
005?
Well, she has moved into 3rd place in the points ahead of her teammate, Antron Brown. As we come back to the line for Jim Yates and Greg Anderson. Yates looking for his first win this year. In fact, he hasn't won since here in 2002. That's how long it has been for Jim. Greg, on the other hand, well, you know, he just won a couple of weeks ago. Just happened to be the U.S. Nationals.
How about Greg Anderson taking that left-hand lane? He'd been choosing the right-hand lane. The only pro stock driver to do so other than his teammate Jason Lyon. The reason was because in our sportsman categories, both the final of alcohol dragster and alcohol funny car had breakage just off the starting line and had to do some cleanup. So I'm sure that was probably why he decided to take that left-hand lane.
Yates is going to have to be good on the tree. Double away for Yates. Will it be enough? The answer is no. Greg Anderson goes 6.72 at 2:05. He picks up win number 7 this year, the first ever at this racetrack. This was one of the few tracks where he had yet to win. He's got his 38th of his career. Dave Reef.
Now with Jeff Curley. Jeff, wow, how much are you guys thankful that you caught that oil pump when you did?
Oh, you don't know. They always say that it takes one round of luck to get through. I can't say we had our luck on the racetrack. We had our luck back in the pit. I want to thank all the guys at the shop. They've been just busting hump to get engines ready. This 3-race deal that's coming up right now is just, it's been killing everybody. But nonetheless, we pulled it off. I got to say hi to my wife and my kid, Griffin. He's 8 months old a couple days ago. I love it.
One proud papa right there. Down to the far end with Gary.
So he racks up a win finally here at Maple Grove, the first time here, but we're curious about the drama in the pits with the oil pump change and how much that plays into this victory.
Well, you know, you need a break somewhere along the line to win one of these things every day. You can always trace that back to a break, and we found the oil pump locked up right before we come up for the semifinal. Luckily, we had just enough time to change it. You know, somebody's looking out for me today. There's no doubt about that. It looked like another one of them Maple Grove just can't get a job done when I saw that, but somebody's looking after me today, and I thank them so much. Honey, the kids, love you guys. We'll be home tomorrow morning.
And that is the 13-time Powerade champion, John Force. The funny car final, everybody here, you can hear him hooping and hollering. All right, who takes home the Wally? In Top Fuel, it will be either Tony Schumacher or Larry Dixon, a rematch from just a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Nationals. Tony Pedregon up against his former boss, John Force. Tony has got a tough road to go because he's not beaten John in 6 prior meetings since he formed his own team. Here's John's road to the final. Let's get more from Gary.
You know, he's had a 20-year relationship with Austin Coyle, who is one of his tuners along with Bernie Federley. And last week after the U.S. Nationals, what did Austin do? Well, his passion, his hobby away from the racetrack is sport bikes, motorcycles. He went riding with Dan Gurney. And he said the amazing Gurney at age 74 still puts us all to shame.
For Tony Pedregon, it was an amicable split. Not only Tony Pedregon, but remember Dickie Venables was part of this team as well, the right-hand man for John Medlin. Not to say that there is any bad blood between these teams. I don't believe that at all. But you can best believe that Tony Pedregon and Dickie Venables want to get this first win, their first win away from John Force Racing.
Well, the big news for Tony is that he's been living life big time here. He's going to have to come up with a great run to beat Force. Force is in trouble. It's a pedal fest. And Tony is going to get his first win as an owner. And it may not be the prettiest. It certainly won't be the best in the performance numbers. But it doesn't matter in the end. He takes home the Wally. Dave Reif.
Down in a very happy team that almost looks like they've had a giant monkey come off of their back. Dickie Venables, with everything that happened in Indianapolis. How sweet to come back here and get your first.
Oh, there's not words to explain it, you know. I mean, I'm just so grateful that the guys we have, they work their tails off. And I'm glad for them. I'm glad for Quaker State because they deserve better than we've been doing. And Tony told us, he said, one day it's going to happen. And he was right. We're happy.
Remember the old ABC intro, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat? I bet they're pretty thrilled down there at the far end too, Gary.
You bet it. Tony Pedregon going over to congratulate John Force, and we'll wait here as he gets out of this helmet in balaclava, and we'll get a word with the man. First time to get a victory away from John Force. How good's that feeling to you, Tony, and for your team?
Well, there's nobody out here I'd probably want to beat more, but it's only because he's the best. And I go back a long ways with a lot of those people, but I got to say, I got Q on my heart now. They're the best people I've ever been around. They're the reason I'm here, and they're the reason that car's in the winner's circle. So thank you again, Snap-on, Mr. Gasket, Mountain View Chevrolet, Gates Belts, Goodyear. We really rang that thing's neck, and I kept waiting for John to come around me, and I knew once I started to get it semi-recovered. He didn't come around me then, he ain't gonna get me. So he had his problems, but attrition is part of this game. Quaker State, I told you I would win. I promise I will bring this thing. We're going to Texas, and what a great day. All the people that stood behind us, and you know, once again, man, Snap-on Tools. I'm a little speechless. It's been a while, but
savor that moment.
I told you I didn't forget how to do this.
His best run all day was a 485. He had a 525 in there. The last one was a 630 in the Pedal Fest. I mean, take a look at the points right now. Gary Scelzi over Robert Hight. John Force 31. The top 5 still separated by 4 rounds of racing with 4 races left. This is incredible. And now we go to Top Fuel, a rematch from just a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Nationals when it was Larry Dixon beating Tony Schumacher. If you remember, lane choice played a key role. Lane choice this time goes to Tony Schumacher. Dixon had it a couple of weeks ago in Indy. Let's take you back.
What happened, because they did not get lane choice, basically they tried to get after in that right-hand lane. Tony Schumacher, Alan John said it hit the wheelie bar, unloaded those rear tires, and got him spinning, which gave Larry Dixon a great emotional win.
Road to the final for Larry Dixon. I mentioned, of course, he won the last time out, but Dixon has the edge overall in matchups, but in finals, actually, Tony Schumacher has the better record. 5 up, 4 down against Larry. And this is huge in the points championship. There was a time earlier this year when Larry lamented the fact he made it all the way to the finals, but he was up against the points leader, lost, and he says, man, we did everything, and we still lose 20 points in the process. This is another one of those situations. If he beats Tony Schumacher, he cuts the lead to 60. If he loses this round to Tony, Tony's lead stretches to 100. 5 rounds.
Larry really needs to get this win, and it is not going to be easy because these type of conditions, I mean, Dick LaHaye does have a better combination in the cool conditions, but Alan Johnson has just got an unbelievable combination in these cool conditions.
To the 457 of Larry Dixon, and Tony Schumacher opens up a 100-point lead. Woo! What a race for Tony Schumacher and the U.S. Army team. His 5th win of the year, 3rd in a row here at this track, and it's the first time that he's doubled up at a track this year. Let's go to Dave Reef.
Not Schumacher. It's not the 3 trophies this team of yours took home, but you got 2 this year.
We got 2 this year. We got the point lead in both funny car and top fuel. We stretched out in both the classes this weekend. We needed to do that. We're going on to Dallas, try to get it done over there. This U.S. Army team to come out here and have Angel and both Tony win for the soldiers. What can I say?
Enough said. Gary.
And let's check in here with Tony Schumacher. What was the difference from 2 weeks ago in the U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis? We had the same matchup, the outcome different. What was the reason it turned around in your favor this time?
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. I mean, we hit the wheelie bars, and there's a million different ways you can lose, and it's very, very difficult to win. But I think you're going to see these 2 cars battle a lot in the next 4 races or 5 races, whatever we got left, man. It's going to be very, very intense. That's a big deal there, man. That's five different rounds we're ahead now.
100 points.
100 points, and that's huge. We got to keep qualifying. We got to stay ahead. That's obviously, as we all know, that's for my beautiful brand new daughter, Jacqueline, at home. And Anthony and Michael, you guys take care of your new baby sister, my wife, Kara. Just an outstanding deal for the United States Army, for the POWs, MIAs. It was great to have them on the car riding with us this weekend. We got Gates Belts, Matco Tools, and all the wonderful people from Lucas. We had a hospitality tent that was packed solid. It was simply unbelievable. But, you know, it's just, it's what it's all about. Alan knows how to win. We've won 3 times in a row now. And, you know, you start to think, just like when you're, like I always say, when you're in Vegas, you start to think, how many times can you do this? But, man, let me tell you something. 3 is good. Let's try to do 4 now.
Nobody disputing that around here.
What a great day of racing. We have run out of time. We will see you next week from Dallas. Don't forget the 4 races left. Coming up next, Baseball Tonight right here on ESPN2. For Mike Dunn, Dave Reed, Garrett Gerald, I'm Marty Reed. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.